almost sleep around and stop by at your local Planned Parenthood where you almost have a child. But see, almost is no stranger to Satan. Here's proof. Satan only tells lies when they're almost the truth. It's amazing. In our incompleteness, we find complacence, but if almost is one of Lucifer's many traits, then somehow we've inadvertently become good at Satan impersonations. But on the contrary, Christ did his job fully. And he proved he was God when he died on the cross like it was his duty. See, to pardon my iniquities that I committed rudely, he resurrected from the grave just to tell death to excuse me. Excuse me. This is your life, and that's something I can't impose on. But your body is God's home, which wasn't loaned to get foreclosed on. You see, an almost Christian looks right, but lives wrong. Can't stand the conviction in Romans, so they sit down to be comforted in songs. Never understood worship, but love to lift their hands and sing songs like, I surrender all. Most. Because it's far too expensive for us to spend our lives on something that doesn't appeal to our five senses. See, nowadays, Christianity's like a Louis rag. No functional use, but we just rock it because it's stylish, not righteous, but right-ish. So all God sees is a pile of Ishmaels when he intended for Isaacs. And we're moved by our emotions, so we're saved when we feel like it. So technically, we've never really been saved. We've merely tried it, so no wonder why we're never sold out when we return it after we buy it now. Let me break it down because you need to beware. Your life could lack the very standards that need to be there. Because on that final day of judgment, while God's receiving his heir, will he say, son, well done, or medium rare. Even by worldly standards, it'd be highly insane for you to start spending all of your money days before you almost get paid. Like parents, you wouldn't send your kids to a school that's almost safe. And ladies, would you really date a man who claims he's almost straight? That's the very thing about God that we all try to get around. But his standards are like between two closely engrafted mountains. There is no middle ground. So a halfway life is not profitable to you. Because after all the Sunday services, Bible studies, prayer meetings, and even a poetry night at Vanguard, God may say, I never knew you. That's not even the worst part of living your life as neutral. It's that you were once Arctic, but it's your warmness that is causing him to spew you. And this is exactly the type of mentality that had me. See, I was bound and held down by the unforgiving gravity of my spiritual reality. I was a Christian. Or at least I portrayed the fantasy with a filthy personal life, but a God bless you, brother, how you doing, sister, personality. I was a male, enveloped by guilt because I was stamped a sinner. I said I was a male, enveloped by guilt because I was stamped a sinner. My message couldn't be received because I didn't represent the sender, yet I was almost delivered. To that one day I totally, completely, and absolutely surrendered. Took heed to a modern prophet who proclaimed it was time for change. Now I'm no longer bound to sin, point blank off the chain. But you could ask Umar Abdul Muttalib, and he'll tell you the same. You don't almost go to jail, you almost blow up a plane. We don't almost go to hell, we almost get saved. Despise the cross that he was slain, and thus the cause in which he came. But don't worry, I'm almost done. But before I leave this stage, we have all worked in sin, and death was minimum wage. I said, we've all worked in sin, and death was minimum wage. But if it wasn't for Christ, we would have almost got paid. Before you walk away tonight, feeling and texting your friends like, man, what a wonderful night of poetry, I want you to take a few seconds and just say, God, were you saying anything to me? Is there anywhere in my life that I'm reserving for myself? Have I surrendered all? Or just almost? You can go to church every Sunday. You can even come to the altar. But if your heart has not been completely surrendered to Christ, I want you to understand that what a disservice you're doing. You're saying, you know what, God, I understand that you're full of love, but I don't want all of it. Lord, I understand you're full of mercy and grace, but I don't want all of it. I'm standing here today saying, God, I'm a sinner and I need all of the grace you can give me. I need all of the mercy and forgiveness that you can give me from that throne. God, whatever you have, give it to me. I surrender all. Because I've tried to do it on my own. My dad is a pastor. I've taught Sunday schools. I'm the praise and worship leader. But I want you to understand that if you obey this flesh, it will have rulership over you. And I don't care what you claim you are. On that last day, it will testify against you. This is not a time to just, man, I feel like convicting people. I'm telling you from my heart. God is looking for some people that are just say, hey, man, I just want you to love me the way you want to love me. I just want to give myself to you. I want to be like you, God. He's not looking for complex Pharisees. He's not looking for religious people. He's looking for some people that are willing to surrender. If we could just stand up on our feet. My sister Jeanette.